Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Mr. Developer. So in this tutorial we are going to know what is transaction management and how it works. Okay. So probably last time I have said you my GitHub link where I have pushed this code to my repo. Okay, so most of you, the people's asked, could you please tell me the flow of this code? So in this video, I'm going to give you the brief flow about the code. Okay, so let's understand what is transaction management. So performing two actions together to make a single operation is called transaction management. For example, while ordering food, you are giving your delivery details and payment details, right? So you are performing two actions here to make a single operations, that is delivery at your doorstep. So let me give you a scenario. Suppose you are booking a ticket in Bande Bharat. As the Bande Bharat is popular now in India, that's why I have mentioned it. So you are giving your details and then a payment gateway appears on your next step. You do proceed with payment details, right? And then your status is being saved in the particular website's database. Probably we are using IRCTC for that. And also we are using other third parties applications like Paytm, Make My Trip, and Confirm Ticket, and so on. But what if it fails due to anything like payment issue or any user info issue, or anything can happen, right? So you at that time your details should not save into the database, right? If it saves, even though it is failed transaction, then it will be a problem. So two people will fight for one seat, right? So in that particular case we have to use transaction management, either commit or rollback. So what is either commit or rollback? So commit commit the transaction to the database if everything goes right. Okay, if anything happens or any issue occurs during the transaction or during booking of anything, then roll back the transaction. Okay, so that's what the either commit or rollback. So here how they are using, I mean what is the what is behind this, what is behind this transaction management. So I will give you a diagram for you, so I think it will be better, you can understand it properly. So this is the diagram of the flow. For example, the client is giving a order request. Okay, so what that order request is containing, one is order info and payment info, right? Here we are having two actions, right? One is order info and payment info. So let's order info we gave and it's saved to the database. Then we see the payment info in payment gateway and we have insufficient amount. And in this case, payment info also saved to the database, which is not an ideal case. So what we will do here, we will create two entity class for order info and the payment info. Then the payment should be validated. So we will create a validation class which will be extended from a custom exception. Like we will use runtime exception to throw an custom exception. Okay, so if user info and payment info is correct, then the details will be stored with the current status to the database. Okay, and one acknowledgement will be sent back to the client. Okay, and one acknowledgement will be sent back to the client. So that's what the flow of the diagram. So to better understand, you can pause this video and can you can analyze how the flow is going on. So now let's go back to my IDE where I have written all my code, the project. Okay, so here I have created two entities. Okay, one is order info and another one is payment info. Okay, which has binded to their respective database tables. So let me show you the database table as well. So this is my order info, this is my payment info, right? Yeah. So these two classes have been binded to their respective class. So in order info class I have given few attributes, right? That is order id, order name, and order status, right? As I said, this class has binded to the database table. The data from this attribute will be stored into respective column. Okay. So similarly, for payment info class I have created few attributes like id, product name, and amount, right? So this will also store into the database. So now let's go to the repository class. So here I have created two repositories. One is order repo and another one is payment repo. So here order repo and payment repo, they both are extending JPA repository, correct? And uh, yeah, so what is this JPA repository? This is used to perform ORM operations, I think. Okay, so now let's go to the service class. We don't in this interface we don't need to write the like abstract methods or anything. Why? Because this JPA repository is having all the custom things. Okay, all the custom methods and all those things. So that's a different thing we'll discuss later. So now let's go to my service class. In this service class I have done dependency injection for both repositories, right? One is order repo and another one is payment repo. So as you can see, I have created a method which is taking order request, right? So in this order request, as I said, it contains order information and payment information. Let me take you there. Yeah. So it is containing order information and payment information. Right. And based on the order request, the same method will save the order into a order info and payment info to the database. For now I have not implemented transaction management here. Okay, so why? Because I just want to show you how without transaction management what happens. Okay, so and just telling you the flow. Okay, right. So this method should save the record based on the operation. If it fails, then it should not save the data. If it is success, then store the data. So that's the operation of this save method. Okay. So as I said, we will be getting order requests, right? So let's go to the DTO class. So my order request is my DTO class where uh, the like client will send the data and that client data will be sent to the controller. Okay. So this is my DTO class, so DTO object. So okay, so this is my DTO class, so DTO object. So here it contains two details, right? One is order info, another one is a payment info. So this is the class we are sending to the service class method as a parameter. Also based upon the transaction, the acknowledgement will be sent back to the client whether it is success or failed, right? Yeah. So now let's go back to the service class. I think I am in service class only, right? So where I have a method which is taking order request as input, right? Order request is taking as input, and from the order request, we are validating the payment, and based on the validation, we are generating a response, right? So now look at my method. It is returning an order acknowledgement, right? It is returning an order acknowledgement on every success of payment validation, right? If everything goes well, then the data being saved to the database, then we have to send the order details. Here I'm showing you what happens if we don't use transaction here. Okay, I have not used transaction here. Oh, sorry. I just have to comment it right. So, uh, and maybe better I will delete this. So here I have not used transaction. Okay, consider it. I have not used transaction here. So, so if validation fails, then exception should throw. But what happens in the DB when it fails? Okay, so now I have fetched uh, order info from order request and kept a conditional check here. Okay, why? Because sometime order could be null. Okay, and it may throw null pointer exception and terminate our application, right? So now what I'm doing, I've kept the a conditional check here, and I have called save method, right? This save method to the order info to save my order info. Then I'm fetching payment info from the order request. Then I'm fetching from payment info from the order request, right? And then keeping the payment info for validation. So see, if you see, I'm keeping the payment info for the to validate my payment info, which is there in my payment info validation class. So this is my information validation class. So now let's go to the let's check the payment details. Before that, I want to proceed with other details like if payment like if uh, payment is success, then we are returning an acknowledgement back to the client, right? So that what I'm doing, I am, if everything goes right, then I am saving the order info again after taking the name from the payment info, and I'm saving the payment info and sending an acknowledgement, right? So as I said, what if the validation fails, right? So now let's go to my payment validation method. Okay, so this class will validate our payment related information. Okay, right. So here for checking purpose, I have created a map. Okay, I mean for my for this class will validate our payment related information. So here for checking purpose, I have created a map which will store the product name and its value. Right, it's storing its name and its value. So then I have created a static block and kept some product data. Okay, for my for my understanding purpose, I kept it, right. So based on these details, whatever request is coming from end user, we will try to validate these things. So based upon the validation, we will throw one exception, right. We will throw one exception. If it is success, then we are storing into the database. Now come to the method. I have passed payment info to the method parameter, and then I kept a condition check. If the particular product payment is satisfied for the given user amount, then save the order or else throw exception. So this is my payment info, right? Yeah. So from here it is bringing all the payment info, and in this conditional check, it is checking the I've been taking the amount from the payment info, and whatever the products I am having in this static block, and checking with the product name. Okay, whatever the product name will be come from this payment info will be check will be will goes to the goes to these products, and then it is checking whether the amount you have given each less than or greater than. Okay, so if amount is less than the product, okay, if it is the product name is mobile, Okay, it is 20,000. Suppose I'm giving 15,000. Then this new, this exception will be through that insufficient amount. Okay, this is my exception class, right? And here I have given the, extending. I am extending it from runtime exception to make it custom exception, right? So now let me run the class. So I have given all the overview, right? So before I run, I want to show you my REST API as well. 1 minute. Mm, yeah, this is my REST API. Sorry, this is my REST controller. Okay, where the order request will be come to this, save order. What is this? Controller methods, controller class methods, save order details. I am giving parameter, that's order request. So what will happen here? I am giving uh, REST HTTP method, that is post mapping, and this is my endpoint, that is place order, right? So whatever the data I'm giving will be come to this order request, right? Whenever I'm giving this endpoint URL, from this endpoint URL the data will be stored to this order request, and similarly I'm returning order, calling the save order method of the order service and passing the order request as parameter. Then it is going to the service class, and I have passed the order request the parameter, right? So from here it is taking other operations whatever I explained before, right? So now let's run this project. So as you can see, my application has started. So to check the code, okay, to check the operation, whether my order request is working or not. As I said, I have not uh, meant uh, you know implemented transaction management yet, right? So what happens when we don't use at the rate, transaction management here? So we will see that scenario. So for that, I am using Postman as my to test my API. Okay, this is my port number, and this is my endpoint URL. As you can see, this is my endpoint URL, right? This is my controller class. Yeah. So this is my endpoint URL. This is what I am giving here for post at Postman. So uh, I'm requesting the order info with the ID 104, and the order name is laptop, and the status should be confirmed. Okay, and the payment info is like it is laptop. I want a laptop, and amount is 4,000. I'm sending, for example. But what is the price of the laptop? Think 40,000 something, right? Yeah. So laptop price is 55,000, but I'm sending 4,000. Okay, I'm just checking my API. Okay, so I am sending. Yeah, correct. So as you can see, it is what it is throwing here. Yeah, it is throwing insufficient amount exception, right? It is throwing as insufficient amount, right? See, this is what it is sending back, insufficient amount. Okay, it is throwing an exception, but in this case, what should happen? It should not save the record, right? But if you see my database, it will be stored. See, my order status has been stored. What? Laptop and confirmed. I mean, This is where we are getting error. Actually, this is not the one. Yeah. So as you can see, it is saving the data. The order name will be null. But actually, I will check the code why it is showing null. But order status it is showing confirmed. So order in based on the order info only the other operation will be performed, right? So this whatever the data like ID, name, why this is null right now, but it actually it should not be null, and the order status. Okay, this one will be sent as a sent as an acknowledgement back to the whom to the client, right? Okay, status, how whatever amount I have been paid, and the what I mean, all these details will be sent back to the client. Though it is a failed transaction, we are sending back to the client. Then what will happen? It's the, this is the what exception is occurring, right? This is the mistake. So to make it correct, I will use at the rate transaction here to make it perfect. Okay. Yeah. Now I have implemented transactional. So what is the rule of transactional? Transactional transaction management. Either commit or rollback, right? So now let's see what happens. Again, I'm rerunning my application, right? I think it has not started yet. Started. My application has been started. Now I'm testing my API again. Okay, the same details I'm sending. Okay, yeah, it is giving me insufficient amount. Why? Because I don't have enough money in my account. Okay, the laptop price is 55,000, but I'm giving an amount of 4,000. Okay, so in this case it should not save, right? See, this is not saved. This is the previous data which I have not deleted, right? So again I'm showing you, correct? Payment also, and also you can see this is empty. This is also order info also empty. I'm hitting the API again. Yeah, it is giving me insufficient amount exception. And see, look at my database table, it's working. The the order status is not at all saving to the database. It means that whatever the rules there in transaction management is satisfying here, right? What if I give you the what if I give the proper amount? The laptop price is 55,000, right? Suppose I'm giving 55,000. Okay, suppose I'm giving, yeah, 5,000. Okay, again I'm hitting. See, it is giving me the status. I mean, it is sending me an acknowledgement that my status has been success. The status is success. The payment is success. The amount we have paid is 55,000, and the info payment info is the ID in payment ID is 2244, and product name is laptop you have ordered, and the amount we paid is 55,000. Right. If you see my database as well, it also has stored my record to the database. Yeah, this is my order name, laptop, order ID is this, and confirmed. If you check my payment info, this is also saved, right? So that's how transaction management works, guys. So I think I have given you the enough details. So stay connected with my channel for more information. Thank you.